Hello beautiful people and welcome back to the channel. So yes, the topic of this video is the new Air Force hero which will come tomorrow. So before we analyze this hero on paper, because the hero is coming tomorrow, let me make an important announcement. So tomorrow, when the server resets, I'm gonna start a stream. I'm gonna take this hero to 5 stars. I'm gonna buy the level 5 special skill for him, and I will also gonna put the full Air Force perks on him, and I will gonna start to do some tests. So I highly recommend you guys to jump first on my stream, have a look at the tests, and then later on you can jump in game and you can decide for yourself if you're gonna take this hero, yes or no. So now let's start with the hero analysis. So this Brady, it's an offense buffing hero exclusively for Air Force, therefore competes with Hazel, which was introduced 6 months ago. So this new offense buffing hero is gonna give you a 120% attack increase for the first 2 rows, but only for Air Force because it's an Air Force hero exclusively. And of course for the last row, it's gonna give you only a 105% attack increase. Now these values will gonna get slightly higher due to the level 5 special skill of this hero. So from this perspective, the hero is simply fine, because from slots 7, 8 and 9, you most likely will gonna use encirclement units, and these encirclement units won't get this 105% buff anyway. And for the second case in which you're gonna use exclusively planes, just in case you're defending your base or you're joining a rally or you're going to a building with a march and you already have the encirclement buff, by the time your slots 7, 8 and 9 gets a chance to trigger, the amount of units left on these slots we're gonna do significantly less damage because, yeah, they are way less. So just till now, he looks better than Hazel, but he has way more to offer us. So this hero has on top a special mechanic called a Decoy, which affects only the first 2 rows, so in other words, from slot number 1 till slot number 6. So this Decoy layer will gonna give you a 25% damage increase, and it goes all the way up to 200%, and I will explain you exactly how this works. So a very important thing to mention right now is that you can actually lose these decoy layers when you get hit, and I will gonna explain a bit more in detail towards the end of the video. So when slots 1 till slot 6 gets hit by your opponent, they're gonna lose one of these decoy layers, but the hit will gonna get a 50% damage reduction, which makes this hero way better designed than the Navy hero we just got, Stromoy. So let's explain his special skill before we go in some potential scenarios. So as always, the level 3 is nothing special, it's just an HP which will apply for all the units. Now let's have a look at his level 5 skill, because this level 5 has 3 components. The component number 1, you have a chance to inflict a 50% ignite damage on 3 random units, which I personally don't expect to be something very important. The second component is a very important one. You're gonna get up now with the level 5 a +1 decoy, so you're gonna get +2 decoy effects on slots 1 to slot 6. And the third component of the level 5 is the fact that all decoys will be triggered at the end of each round. Now this won't be a huge issue because most likely your opponent with his normal default hits or his hero procs will most likely remove a lot of decoy layers from your slots. So that's pretty much the level 5. Now let's explain the level 7. So for each decoy gained, you now no longer get 25%, you're gonna get 50% damage increase for each layer, and on top of this you're gonna get an attack boost of 40% on top of this 120% which you get by default, but only for slots 1 till slot 6. So before we jump in some examples, let's recapitulate. So if this hero has an exclusive skill from 0 to level 4, you're gonna have in the first turn a damage increase of 25%, and in the second turn is gonna be 50%. If you are getting the exclusive 5, then the damage increase in the first turn is going to be 50%, and in the second turn is going to be 100%. And if for exclusive level 7, the damage increase is going to be the 100%, and in the second turn is going to be 200%. Now this may sound like crazy, But fact is, whenever your opponent hits you with a default hit or with his hero's procs, you're gonna lose layers of this decoy effect. So now let's explain some possible scenarios with this battle animation you see now on the screen, and let's presume for the sake of this example that this new hero has an exclusive level 5. So what will happen? At the beginning of the battle, the slots 1 to slot 6 will gonna get +2 of this decoy effect. And presumably, if your heavy trooper can hit first because he has a high fire rate, then the heavy trooper will hit, then right after that, these 2 decoys layers will gonna get consumed, allowing Maximo to hit super insanely. Now, this was obvious. Now, let's carry on with the normal hits. So, just in case your heavy trooper is on healing, or just in case now you're starting with slot number 1. So, what's gonna happen is the opponent will hit back. Now, it's very difficult for us to speculate what slots your opponent will hit with his heroes. So let's presume that our opponent is a Navy opponent, and we're only gonna take in consideration the default hits of the Navy. So what's gonna happen is his heavy trooper will hit first. Now, we don't wanna speculate exactly where he's gonna hit somewhere. So let's keep that. So now your slot 1 is allowed to hit. Now the slot 1 will also presumably have still 2 layers of decoy effect, meaning that gets consumed, he gets a 50% damage increase, and then he can hit. Of course, you would like to have right after that your hero to proc from slot number 1, but yeah, it's basically luck. So after this, what happens? Your opponent is allowed to hit from his slot number 1. And we presume your opponent is a Navy, so his slot number 1 is gonna hit slots 1, 2, 3 from your plane setup. In other words, at this moment, slot number 1 and slot number 5 are gonna have a 50% damage increase. And slot number 2 and slot number 3 right now will only gonna have 1 layer of decoy. And you get only the 25% damage increase, which is gonna stay till the end of the battle, and then it's the opponent's turn. So right after your opponent was allowed to hit you from his slot number 1, it's your turn to hit him from slot number 2. So when you do that, you're gonna consume the only layer of decoy you have left, which means only a 25% damage increase, but you have a 50% damage decrease. So right after that, your opponent's turn is to hit you from his slot number 2. Now at this point, it doesn't quite matter how many units he will have on his slot number 2. Fact is, if he has only 1 unit, he will hit, and with this hit, he will successfully remove all 2 layers of decoy from slot number 3. So in other words, slot number 3 will most likely won't get a damage increase due to your opponent being a Navy. Now, this is pretty much the point I wanted to make in this video, because we can only evaluate this new hero now only on paper, because we don't have him. We're gonna have him tomorrow, and we're gonna test him tomorrow in the live stream. Fact is that this new hero, so far, it looks better than Hazel, no question about it. And yes, he definitely looks way better than Stromoy, or the way this Navy hero was designed. So yes, beautiful people, I hope this first preview of this new Air Force hero helped some of you guys to understand how this hero works. I highly recommend you guys to tune in tomorrow on this channel, because we're gonna start the stream right after reset, and we're gonna do some tests together to figure out how much better this new hero is. So yeah, don't forget to support the channel, don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed by now, and don't forget to see me in the next episode, guys.